Welcome, fellow enthusiasts of the supernatural, to a spine-tingling episode of UK Paranormal Search. Tonight we embark on a journey into the heart of mystery and history as we set foot in Strelley Hall. UK Paranormal Search are here at tonight's location as we investigate Strelley Hall in Nottinghamshire. Dating back to 1200 AD, Strelley Hall, originally built as a castle, this architectural marvel has transformed and evolved over the centuries. The majority of the structure that stands before us today emerged in the 1780s, boasting a unique blend of historical styles that capture the essence of the eras it has witnessed. But what truly sets Strelley Hall apart are the whispers of the paranormal that echo through its halls. Legend speaks of ghostly apparitions that have intrigued, mystified, and sometimes terrified those who have crossed its threshold. Among these spectral inhabitants, the White Lady takes centre stage. Clad in a flowing white gown, her presence has been witnessed near the grand staircase and wandering through the corridors. The giggles of a child's echoing laughter and footsteps in deserted chambers have led some to believe that the spirit of a young child still roams this historic hall, playfully reminding us of its past enduring mysteries. So prepare to join us on a journey that spans centuries, where history and the unexplained intersect. Will we unravel the secrets of the White Lady and her fellow spirits? Will the halls of Strelley Hall divulge their haunting truths? Tune in tonight as UK Paranormal Search take you on an unforgettable adventure, bringing you the truth into the world of the beyond. Get ready to believe, doubt and question. Are the spirits of Strelley Hall waiting to share their stories with the living once more? The panel room at Strelley Hall, it seems to have its own share of ghostly tales. The presence of a tall gentleman near the fireplace, and the mention of a young stable boy who was supposedly trampled to death after a series of unfortunate events involving the squire's son creates a rather eerie and tragic narrative. Additionally, the mention of Emily Mary Edge's spirit adds another layer to the haunting narrative. Her love for Strelley Hall and the positive memories she had there are said to be the reasons for her spiritual visitation. This aspect of the story reflects a more sentimental and comforting perspective on the haunting, when the presence of a spirit is not necessarily malevolent, but tied to positive emotions and attachment. This is the castle room. Nicholas Strelley, the supposed ghost, is said to be angry and haunting the room due to his belief that he was cheated out of a card game by Ralph Edge. The anger and frustration he feels have supposedly led to poltergeist activity and negative feelings in this castle room. This dungeon has seen it all, from the desperation of the unjustly imprisoned to the lingering energy of restless spirits. And when the night falls, this chamber transforms into a playground for the paranormal. Deafening noises reverberate through the air, chilling touches are felt, and unsuspecting guests find themselves pushed to the limits. The dungeon, it seems to hold memories that refuse to fade away, but among the whispers of the past, one entity stands out, a malevolent presence known as a watchman. A guardsman from centuries past, his spectral form has been sighted walking along these corridors. His ghostly lantern casts a eerie glow, and his footsteps are like a haunting drumbeat that echo through time. Okay, welcome to UK Paranormal Search, and Richard, the owner of Strelley Hall, has agreed to actually come on a little bit of an interview with me. Hi Richard, thanks. First of all, thank you for letting me into your property tonight. Richard's going to tell us a little bit of history about the place, but the first question I'll ask you, Richard, how long have you actually lived at Strelley Hall?
43 years.
43 years. And then can you tell us a little bit of history about the place and what you've done?
Well, first of all, 43 years is a very short term.
Right, okay.
Compared with the other people. First people here were the Strelleys.
Okay.
They used to live in a wooden building not far from here, a couple of 100 metres from here, and they moved here and built a stone building probably around 1200. And this stone building was rather larger than the building we've got here today. And you've probably seen a bit of the remnant of this castle there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Which is another 20 metres further out that way. But they built a castle, and they were a bit like brigands in those days. If they saw a bit of something, whether it was women or corn or land or whatever that they liked, they went and got it.
Yeah.
Which is a bit like the kings of England of the day. If they saw a bit of France they wanted, they went and got it.
Yeah. Well, you showed me around the building. It's an absolutely fantastic building. Richard's just actually took me down to the old cellar area, what used to probably be the dungeon area. And we've actually been outside. And what was the little bit you showed me on the?
Well, that was the extremity of the wall in about 1200. Now, the building that was put there then has gradually fallen down. And one of the problems was that the Strelleys were Catholics.
Okay.
And that caused them all manner of problems. And they really lost a lot of money. They had lots of legal battles because the ruling royalty were Church of England at the time. So I'm talking about 1500, 1600.
Going back a real long
Yeah.
way.
So after they'd been here 400 years, they actually really had very hard times.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, they had so many legal battles, the only way round it was to make out the property to their lawyer. And their lawyer was called Edge.
Okay.
And
that's
that's the second family that was here.
Mary Edge, was it?
Yes,
Probably,
yes.
It's partly she's supposed to also form this room as well, I believe.
Yes.
Apparently. And you want to tell us a story also about this
I'm going
fireplace
to-
behind us?
Yes, well, just a bit more about the Strelleys, who really lost their lands and handed over to the Edges in the middle of the 17th century. So 1650 or so. But by that time, most of this castle had fallen down.
Right.
And we've really only got a part of it left in the corner, which is the castle room.
Which I've been in, which you can tell actually just by looking at the building, it was part of the castle, just by actually looking at the room as well.
Yes.
It just looks like a castle. If we hadn't known that was the castle room, I would have known it was the castle room just by looking at the room.
It's a turret at the corner of the castle. But of course, the Edges moved in. Now they were lawyers. But of course, they'd moved into an estate. And actually, they turned into really estate managers. And they found coal, which was really quite an important thing in those days, quite valuable. So, because they were able to sell their coal, they were able to buy more lands.
Right.
And then they found more coal, so they could buy more lands. Now, you can't see in the dark, but over in that direction, there are remnants of a colliery there.
Right, okay.
So it's gone through quite a lot of history.
I suppose this area as well, it's a college area, really, isn't it?
Yes,
I presume. I know I wasn't, it was a couple of months ago, I was actually in Mansfield, which I don't think it's too far away from here, is it?
No, Mansfield.
And that was all to do with the collieries as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the land outside here, to start with, it was a forest. It was Sherwood Forest, and you probably know that Robin Hood would have been in here if you believe in him.
Yeah.
And all the record we've got is that there was an outlaw called R. Hood.
Right.
That's the only definite thing that is known. Then, of course, by the way, my initials are the same as his.
Okay.
And my
Royal
wife...
Highness.
No.
R.H.
Richard Henshaw.
Yeah, R.H. Royal Highness.
Well, also Robin Hood.
Oh, so Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my wife is called Marion.
Okay.
So that's maybe relevant as well.
Right, okay.
But Marion really didn't figure in the truth in the 12th and 13th century because it was just a figment of the imagination of Hollywood, just to make the story a bit more exciting. Anyway, the Edges took over because the thing fell down as a result of the Protestant versus Catholic arguments. So the edges took over, really struggling with a small part of the building here, but expanding massively when they found coal. And so you can see here, this room has a height of 4.5 metres, which is what the Georgian gentlemen thought was the right way to live.
Right. When
they first moved in, they lived in a part over that way to the west, which is only about 2.5 metres high. But here, they can be really grand. And this room here is an example of their grandness, because they took this room, and in the late 1890s, when they were doing very well with coal, they expanded the building. And here, you can see one of the things they did, they put in another fireplace here, but typical Victorian, they added a piece to it. Look, there's a piece added on at the top there, which is nothing like the original.
Yeah.
And then look at it, they found another piece and stuffed that on top. Now the Victorians really didn't have an idea of continuity of style. They just stuck things on. And of course you look at that now, and really it's a monstrosity. But it's
certainly big.
Yeah, but we've kept it because it's such an example of Victorian's monstrosity. So these were the Edge families, and this was the last really thing that they did in the building. So the then owner decided to disinherit his firstborn son.
Okay.
And he left the property in trust to his daughter, Emily Mary Edge, which actually had a very bad effect on the building, because there were then no children in the building, there was no need for servants, you couldn't get servants, and so much of this building fell into disuse from about 1930 onwards. In 1860, it's believed they had about 60 servants.
60, that's a lot of servants.
And in 1905, they had about a dozen. By the time Emily Mary Edge died in the late 70s, they had 2. So most of this building was disused.
Okay.
So if you look at what's happened over the years, you've had a start with a big stone building, which was very powerful, and then, of course, the Catholic versus Protestant arguments really took it into disrepair. But then it came back again. The Edges built it up. They found coal and lots of money. But then, of course, they did this rather silly thing, and then it fell into disuse again. When we bought this place, it was not in a very good condition at all. But here we are, we've gone through one wave, second wave, we're now on the third wave, and the question is, how long can we keep it going?
And now, as it stands again today, it's such a beautiful building, isn't it?
Yes, but what's going to happen in the future?
That's it, isn't it? There's so many buildings, Richard, in the country that are just going
Yes.
into disrepair. It's such a shame.
And a lot in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got to touch on one thing before I let you go to bed and leave you alone. I'm going to just touch on the paranormal. Obviously, this is why we're here today. I'm just wondering what your point of view is on the paranormal. Have you had anything paranormal happen to you in the building while you've lived in this building all these years, or not?
Well, there's one thing we would say. With a building like this, you've got to have something paranormal, because otherwise you can't market a building like this without something paranormal.
Have you had any personal experience yourself, Richard?
No, not personally. I've had people who have been here
Okay.
who've...
Is that people who've been on investigations, or is that just...
Usually,
Or is that just... How about anybody who's just like, you know, like people who've worked here, or people who've like come and visited?
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Is there anywhere in particular in the hall that
Well, it's been rather varied.
been known there?
Yes, no rhyme or reason.
Did you believe in the paranormal?
Well, I've yet to see an example of it affecting me.
Okay, that's an honest opinion.
Right.
Thank you, Richard, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us a little bit of a talk. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go into Strelley Hall and we're going to actually investigate this building now in night vision. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
So we're going into night vision now at Strelley Hall. It's about 11 o'clock. So what we're going to do, we're just going to start off on the staircase. We're going to go into the panelled room. Then we're going to go into the morning room, and then we're going to go into the cellar, which is an absolute fantastic location. It's going to be so dark down there when we go there later on. So we're just going to see if we get anything, and let's just see how the night goes. As usual, it's going to be a raw investigation. I might leave the app running, the spirit app, not as I believe in it, but we'll leave it running when we go down into the cellar. I know some people like that sort of thing, so we'll do that for you. So let's see what happens here tonight at Strelley Hall. Very fantastic staircase. It goes on for quite a fair way. So here, all alone tonight, here at the hall. There's nobody here now, apart from me. So hopefully we get something tonight for you. So we'll do, we'll go and start off at the top. Oh, they fell. There's a bit of a security light on up there, which I can't do anything about. But what we're going to do, we're going to go to the top of the staircase and give it a call out and see if anything happens. But I've had a great walk around here. It's a fantastic building. Can't wait to go down to the cellar area. I say it's one of the best cellars I've ever been in. It's absolutely humongously big. Really long corridors. It's quite wet down there and quite dank. So, into the top now. So this is the top of the staircase, and as you can see now, if you actually look down there, it is quite a long way. Okay, is there any spirits of Strelley Hall with us tonight? Any spirits of this hall that wish to come and communicate with us? You're quite welcome to. At some point tonight, if you want to come forward, give us a sign that you are here. And you're quite welcome. My name's Phil. I come with respect for you. Is anybody here with me tonight? Can you make contact with me? Can you make a sound? If you want to come and touch me, you can do, or move something, that'd be fantastic. Say I don't wish you any harm, come in peace. No, I don't know what that was. That sounded like a door. The spring on the door. But I thought it was me coat, but it didn't sound like it. If that was you, just made a sound. Can you do that again for me, please? Did you try and open the door downstairs? Definitely sounded like a spring on the door. Is there any servants of the house still here? Any servants? Apparently there was 60 servants here at one time. Are you here tonight? If you are, can you make yourself be known? This was a place where you worked. Any of the Strelley family with us? Or the Edge family? If you want to come forward tonight, prove to me that you still haunt this building, then please come forward and do something for us. If you want to come and touch me, you can do. If you don't want me here, then give us a sign, let me know. If I knock, can you knock back? Can you knock back for me? Can you tap? Tap on something. Make a sound. Any sound at all. Knock on one of the doors. One of these was your room. Knock on one of the doors. That's just, I wonder what that was, but that was just something electrical just come on. Wasn't paranormal. If I whistle, can you whistle back? If I whistle, can you whistle back? I said knock on the door, and then I stood here and I said, can you whistle? I thought I heard what sounded like 2 knocks. Could have been anything, but it definitely heard what sounded like 2 knocks, but it sounded like it came from below. That's what it sounded like. I know it could have been anything, but as I say, on all these investigations, I just tell you how I feel, what I feel and what I hear. I'm not saying it's paranormal, but that's what I've just heard. Any children? Apparently there's children's laughter also heard here. On this staircase, children playing. Is there any children here you want to come and play? What that was something again down there. That's I said about children wanting to play. It sounded like, no, you used to do that when you kid and you make that noise. That's exactly what it sounded like. When I said any children that want to play, it sounded like a child going, I can't do it, but you know what I mean. That's what it sounded like. A very quiet house, so if you do actually hear anything in this hall, you will hear it. There's no road noise outside at all. I actually drove up to this place. It's absolutely beautiful. I went through a big winding driveway with loads of trees and bushes. Absolutely beautiful house, beautiful surroundings, surrounded by fields with horses in. Absolutely lovely place to live. But yeah, it's one of them places again where you just love to go back in time. You know, to see all the families that lived here, all the people that had lived here, all the things that's gone on here. It's so old, and also the land around it's also so old as well. With the castle, it originally was a castle which was built in 1200 AD. I think the original house now dates back to 1780. But yeah, as Richard was saying when I spoke to him before, if you watch that bit, there was 60 servants here in this house at one particular time, and it dwindled to about 2 or 4 servants in the end. So it must have 60 servants. It must have been a really big house. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into the morning room. This is supposed to be one of the haunted rooms as well in here, so we're going to go in there and see if we can get anything here. So this is the morning room, really dark in here. There's no street lights from outside either, so it is pretty dark. So there's any spirit people in this room with me now? Anybody that wishes to come and communicate with me? Please come forward. Give me a sign that you are here. I thought that was just the floor. Well, if you heard that count, that was a noise of some description, but it might have just been the floor and something settling, I'm not sure. If that was you who made a noise, can you do that again for me? Can you make a noise for me in this room? Can you make a sound? Hear your voice? Hello? I think it possibly could have been the floor, that noise, to be honest. Can you make a noise near the fireplace? Make a sound? Any sound at all? Come forward. Knock on the door. Open the door. See, that's a knock over there, but I think it's the floor settling. I really do. These places, the rooms are so old. I don't know what's under the carpet, so it could just be really old wooden floorboards. So even me moving here could make a sound. The other side of the room, to be honest. You know, it's one of them, but I think that was the floorboards. I don't think it was paranormal. But you know, we'll see what happens. I say I'm really looking forward to going down to the cellar, and that's probably the oldest part of the hall and the castle room, which was part of the original castle. So we've got that to do as well. Got to go in the panelled room in a minute and see if we can get anything in there. And just take the night as it comes, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to leave this room now. Can you do something for me before I leave? If I whistle, can you whistle back? See again, that sounds like something on the floor walking towards you. I just think it's the floor settling. Hello? Are you here? So what we've done now, we've come into the panelled room. This is another alleged haunted part of the hall. It's really dark in here. It's quite a dark room. It's supposed to be something seen in the fireplace. So there's any spirits with me in this room now? Can you walk past the fireplace, please? In shadow form, can you show yourself in light? Can you make a sound near the fireplace? You're supposed to be seen near the fireplace. Can you show yourself for me tonight? Come with respect for you. We wish you no harm. I seem to get that quite a lot in these alleged haunted locations. I always get like an itch. And just first time I've had it tonight was just down there. This like an itching feeling. But up to now it's been quiet. We've done the staircase, done the morning room, done the panelled room. Still got the castle room to do, and obviously the cellar. So I'm sure that'll be good. Even if nothing happens down there, I think it'd be really atmospheric. It's probably one of the most atmospheric places I've ever been in. So, oh, there's something over there in that corner.
I think it just sounded like something had moved or in that corner there. If you're in the corner where I'm pointing this camera, can you make a noise? Can you make a sound again, please? Can we hear your voice? You come closer. Can you walk towards me? There's a few noises in here. I heard one over there. Then I thought I heard something over there, and then I thought I heard something over there. If you're in the room with me now, can you walk towards me? Can you make yourself be known? Make yourself be known, walk towards me. If that's you making a noise, make it louder. Bang on something. Bang on something loud. Come on. Loud. That was you tapping. Can you tap again? Just so I know it's you. Tap twice. Tap twice. Tap twice for me. And I know it's you. This room definitely feels more atmospheric than the morning room. As I said, this is the panelled room. I think this is the one where the gentleman lost a game of cards. He's supposed to be quite aggressive and annoyed because he lost a load of money playing cards apparently. It was really loud noise, but again, there's wood panelling all around the room. Is it just that settling? I don't know. Possibly is. Just telling you exactly what I heard. Come on, I'm going to move soon, so if you want to do something before I leave this room, now's your chance. Rap on something. Bang on the window. Whistle. Hello? That noise again, but whether it's natural, I don't know. If you're in that corner, move one of them cups. Flick one of them cups. Make a noise around them cups. Move one. Throw one on the floor. Come on, simple. Move a cup. Rattle the cups. just have to put that down to natural sounds of the building. And until I get an intelligent response through it, then that's all I can go on really. So it's just coming up to the witching hour, midnight. What we're going to do now, we're going to go into the castle room. So this is just a corridor before we go into the castle room, so we'll go into the castle room now. So this is the castle room, so it's just coming up to midnight. And what we've done, we've left the dictaphone running on the table, and we've also put a cat ball there. It doesn't light up, but it makes a jingling noise. If somebody moves it, we'll hear it. So this is the oldest part, probably of the hall. This is part of the original castle. When it was a castle, you can actually tell just by the decor of it and the shape of it that it was a castle, like a turret room or something like that. So this must be a really old room. I feel quite relaxed in here, to be honest. I feel quite at home. So if there's any spirits with me in this room now, anybody that wishes to come and communicate with me, you're quite welcome to come forward. Give me a sign that you are here. A little device in the middle of the table. If you want to come and talk through that, you're quite welcome. If you want to tell me your name, want to give me a message, and then come and talk through that device. There's also a little blue ball on the table. If you want to come and move it or knock it off the table, that'd be good. So I find this room quite chilling, to be honest. Don't feel spooked at all tonight, at all. Feel fine. Okay, nothing much is happening, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go down to the cellar. So join us in part 2, where we'll head for the rest of the night down in the old cellar area, which is like a labyrinth, and the old dungeon areas. So join us in part 2. Thanks for watching part 1, and I will see you in part 2 when we go down to the basement and dungeon.